Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Madden and I'm an entrepreneur. Over the past decade, I've worked professionally in the field of musical theatre. I'm also the co-creator of the only temp agency for dance teachers in Canada, Quick Ball Change. I've been inspired to start a mini-series vlog to share my knowledge as well as speak to those who work professionally in the industry. This is just meant to be an informal chat so we can hopefully all learn something, and I hope you enjoy. Today we're talking about taxes and HST.
I love talking about money. I've read a lot of finance books, but I'm not an expert. I just like to geek out on financial information. It's important to talk about HST because people don't know about it. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. What is an HST number?
Harmonized sales tax is a combo of GST and PST. So in Ontario, we've grouped them together, and now it's 13% tax that we pay on goods and services and provincial sales tax all combined together. The whole HST thing is basically how much do I collect, how much do I pay out, and the difference of that number is what I owe the government or the government owes me. That's essentially what HST is.
Exactly. And it's different in other provinces, right?
It is. So like this is for Ontario. So these are the rules in Ontario, but every province has their own rules. Like Calgary is like at 5% and some are worse than us. Some are at 15%. So we should be grateful.
Hashtag grateful.
Hashtag grateful.
The first hashtag of the day. Who needs an HST number?
Okay. So if you are a business, like most businesses have them, and if you're self-employed, that can apply to you.
Right, because it's your own business.
If you're self-employed, we are our own business, so you might need an HST number as well.
When do you register for an HST number?
If you're self-employed and you make over $30,000 a year, you need to have an HST number. Like you have to have one.
Right.
If you don't make over $30,000 a year, you don't need to have one.
Okay.
You can. Like there's some benefits of having one. You can still register whenever you want.
Right.
Once you hit $30,000, you have to worry about it, and that's the onus is on you to know that.
Right. If you have like less than $30,000 a year, to register for an HST number would just be proactive?
Honestly, I think it depends on your accountant. Some accountants are like, don't worry about it. It's more drama for them to do their taxes. You can write off HST. So if we buy a MAC lipstick for $20, and then it's $22.60 at the end of the year, all the $2.60, all the makeups that we buy, we can put that against the HST that we collect.
Right.
So
I got you.
So if you have an HST number, you have to collect HST on everything that you bring in.
Gotcha.
Okay, so if I register for HST, every performing job, teaching job, judging, workshops, gigging it, any gigging that we do, we have to collect HST. So if I get $100 a night for a gig, I actually have to invoice for $113. HST on top of that. Okay? If you're employed and you work at Starbucks on your side gig, like you're an employee of Starbucks, you don't have to worry about that. It's only on all the jobs that you find or your agent finds for you, any side self-contracting work.
Contract work, you
have to charge HST on top of that.
Right. How do you register for your HST
It's
number?
not difficult. Just go to the CRA website and it's like you can register for an HST number, register your business. You can also call in. I just called in and gave them my information and then they mailed something to me.
I think I did that as well.
Yeah, it was super easy.
Super easy. So what do you do with the HST that you collect? Do you spend it?
Don't spend it.
Okay.
Don't spend it. It's not your money. You're basically a piggy bank for the government.
Right.
So what I like to do is I have a separate account, and all the HST that I collect from my performing and from my teaching goes into that.
Gotcha.
Okay, and at the end of the year, when I do my taxes, the government's like, give me my money back, and I'm accountable for that money. So you're kind of just like a piggy bank for it.
Right.
Okay, so there's bonuses in sense of when you have an HST number. Like let's say I collect $3,000 in HST. From all the performing gigs.
Yeah.
But I'm buying MAC lipsticks, I'm buying shows, I'm taking dance classes, I'm doing lessons, all of the HST on all the things that work towards my business. I've paid out, let's say, $2,000.
Right.
At the end of the year, I only have to pay them $1,000.
Right. That's the win. The win-win.
Yeah. So there's like even some instances which are don't get too excited, but you would get money back. Like let's say I collect $2,000 and I pay out $3,000.
You would get $1,000 back.
I would, but it almost never happens.
Yeah,
it's called like an influx tax credit, but it almost never happens. So just keep all your money in one bank account. Put it in like the highest interest savings fund that you can, so you get literally a couple dollars.
But still, right?
It's
like if you're collecting all of that money and then you're getting interest on that every year, it's got to add up to something.
There you go.
Right?
That's right.
Let's talk about write-offs and expenses.
So the good news is, whether you have an HST number, whether you don't, because we're self-employed, we can write off a lot of things. So our dance classes, our like the agency commission that we pay our agents, you can write it off. Any makeup,
dues, right? Like
dues, absolutely dues. Office supplies, if you have an office in your home, you can write off things like that. Gifts, opening night gifts. You give the artistic director a fancy bottle of wine. Thank you, please hire me again. The only thing is, some accountants get a little picky with it because actors like to drink. So how do you know you didn't buy yourself that wine? So some accountants like to say, please get them a gift card, and then you can kind of prove like this was a gift card for this specific. And I'm picky. I read on the receipt like, gift for so-and-so on opening.
You're very detail-oriented.
Well, in case one day they're like, who is this for? It's like, I don't know.
Well, bam, this.
Boom.
Got it in writing. Keeping track of all of this stuff. Tell me how you do it, because I'm sure people have many different ways of doing it.
You have to keep track. So the first thing, and I have some props today.
Oh, excellent news.
So the first thing is, if you're like traveling and you have a car and you're paying all this gas and car maintenance, like, you can write it off. But you have to keep very specific track as to where you're going.
Exactly.
You can't be like, oh, I have
$40, I filled the tank. Like, but did you go just to work and back? No.
You have to be picky.
Yes.
So this is what I do. This is my cute little logbook, getting ready for 2018, because we're in December right now.
Oh, good.
And I always have like the date, the location, the reason, the why, and how many kilometers.
Perfect.
So I know that when I go from my house to the theater, there and back is 50 kilometers.
Right. And
so at the end of the week, I dock it when I do contracts, I usually do it on a weekly basis because I know exactly how many kilometers.
Exactly.
But if I go to a one-off teaching job, I do it on the day. Like, this lives in my car. I fold it up like this, and it lives at the side of my car.
Smart.
And I stay very accurate because they can ask for that, and you
Easy.
need. My second way is my receipts. So, like I said, you have to be so picky with your receipts. Actually, prop number 2.
Prop number 2.
Okay, you have to forgive me because it's December, so this is so full right now.
Whoa, look at it.
I know. So, like, this is all the things. Like, in the front, taxes stuff. So, any of, like, your receipts, like, my HST slip.
The official receipts from the God above.
That's right. When they send it, that's, like, my preset. Boom, goes in here. I have office supplies, RSP contributions, gifts, medical, ACTRA or equity dues, parking or 407, car repair, music or materials for dance teaching, makeup, clothes, food on contract, normal food, eating out on contract, and also food and drinks. And then I have gas and dogs, because the dogs are the most expensive things in my life. And then the biggest one is me. So, like, things I can't write off. And I also like to have my me column and keep that, because for LCBO, when I do buy myself booze, I can prove, like, no. This booze was for somebody else.
Right.
This booze was for me in my me column.
I was going to say, do you need to keep
I keep both just so I can counterbalance, and I also kind of want to check out, like, how much did I spend on going out for dinner this year? Like, it's a lot.
It's a lot usually.
You don't want to add it up, but then you do, and it's like a self-check.
Right.
So
it's smart.
And on all these receipts that are applicable, I write little notes, like especially going out for coffee or anything like that. I write out who I went out for coffee with. So that's like my second thing.
Perfect.
Okay, so like then at the end of the year, on January 1st, if you're like me,
too far. Very too far.
I go through all the things and I make all my receipts pretty, and then I add them up and I put them in an envelope like gas.
Yep.
And then I usually put like the total on the back, and then that's my gas. And then I go through every single thing. I usually binge watch a couple Netflix series. And then like I get to watch TV, all the stuff is done. And then I have all my stuff pretty in a little box for my accountant. They tell you that you're on the hook for up to 6 years. Wow. So you have to keep it for 6 years, and people don't necessarily...
People don't do that.
They don't know, or they just think like, frig, I have no space. But it's like, get a file, honestly, file folder, $50 on Kijiji.
Thank you, Kijiji. Explain how and when you pay your HST.
You do your tax at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, like, my accountant is Doug. He's fabulous. So he tells me, like, how much tax I owe and how much HST I owe. you'll get those little remittance slips in the mail. Yeah. And you can take them into the bank and you can pay because it'll say like you owe $2,000 and you go to the bank and you can pay it that way. I like to do it online. Like I like to go online. Fair. And it's like you click, you sign in, your business login, and then it syncs right to your online banking. Yeah. And you can pay it right off the bat. Also, if you're paying a lot more, usually I think the number is $3,000. If you're paying back more than $3,000, the government can say you have to pay us quarterly. Oh. So in which case you have to call the government and say, I need more of those little remittance slips, and the onus is on you to pay like 4 times a year. Right. And it's all like what you pay out and what you can expense. So you just want to, like moral of the story is like make sure you're buying things that are good for you and your business. Right. Because it's going to not only make you better as your own business person, but it's going to make you owe less.